All right, yeah. So here we go. I think this is like the fifth update. Yeah, looking forward to doing these. Once a week. Until the treasure's found. As long as I'm here in the states. If I'm not in the states, then I'll try to still do it, maybe from a mobile upload or something like that. But yeah, I think it's going pretty well overall. I think more and more people are kind of getting engaged, and I think that with regard to the actual hunt, it's pretty healthy. There's some negatrons or whatever. I just with that, I'll jump into something real quick. So, like with the site, I had a couple. There's a couple questions even in this. I'll try not to be too redundant today, but um someone had really spammed the virus people about the site. We're still trying to locate exactly where all those IP addresses came from. We're trying to get that information from them. That's not something that just happens immediately. Like you have to take measures to make this happen. There's a couple of things that it did catch me on, like a compliance thing with having access to Europe. So we actually believe that maybe it was somebody in Germany or um, somewhere over in Europe that actually was reporting the site as malicious or whatever, which is okay. I mean, that's fine. We'll get it taken care of. I'm working toward that right now. I promise you, there's no malicious code or anything like that. It's protected by one of the strongest anti-malware, spam, anti everything really. With WordFence, their top package, if you will, right? And along with that, also have I have a back end group of guys who run other sites that I own. I don't ever mention those just because I don't want like what happened with this site to kind of you know infiltrate into. I don't want the hunt to kind of infiltrate into those things. So I keep those private. Yeah, so working toward that. I promise you, there's nothing wrong. That's the one the Billy guy was asking. Billy or Bill said so. Talking about in Europe. So the site worked fine in Europe, and then now they're having a little trouble with it. It's just because there's a couple of compliance things I'll need to add to the site. To be more in guidelines with the European nation or the Eurozone or something like that. So my guys are working on that. The next update of the site, that'll be on there, so we shouldn't have any other issues, and no one will be able to necessarily complain. We've gotten it taken down from multiple different uh, you know anti virus bull crap. I mean, excuse me. So, anyways, that's the only real hiccup I've had so far. There was one. I will tell you there was one thing with the handshake between level one and level two that didn't go right. And someone figured it out, so I'll say it publicly. So originally, what was supposed to happen was because I knew that people were kind of the people that kind of are up at nighttime and were waiting for it. I kind of had an idea or a feeling that a certain group of those people would be more techy than others. And so what was supposed to happen in the Texas field, um, so whenever someone entered they tried to enter it three times. It was supposed to pop up, hey, are you looking in the right place or something like that. So and then there's a string of code inside the code that's the actual key for the. I can't say the Vigiri. It's really hard for me to say, but basically you were supposed to take that piece and the piece that was in, and it gave you a message up all night. So, and then after the three times had been entered, which this part worked, after the three times had been entered, um, it's supposed to change to the right key. So, yeah, that's just hiccup. Yeah, that's a hiccup on my end. And yeah. Anyways, but overall, man, I think I think it's going good. I mean, and that was just more of an. This wasn't a clue like to where the. To be clear, that wasn't a clue to like where the trove is, right? It was just a fun thing for someone who was early bird to the site, and after multiple um, by threes, it's supposed to change, and they were supposed to kind of get a clue to go look elsewhere. And the elsewhere clue, was little lines of code. So hopefully they'd go inspect, and then they'd go inspect the Texas section, and then they'd see the string code. But it is what it is. I mean, like that had nothing to do with where the trove is. It was literally just like a fun thing, like up all night. It was just a fun message, right? So it's supposed to be fun. Um. Anyway, so yeah, so I think overall it's going good. Have a lot of good interaction with folks. Guess my kid's going to school. Look at him. There he goes. I'm gonna go give my kid a hug. Yeah, sorry about that. I want to go give my kid a hug before he bounced out to work. Yeah, so like I was saying, definitely going good overall. I'm really pleased with it. I think it's pretty incredible. As of today, we've had like 69,000 site requests in 1 month, not even 1 month's time. I mean, what day are we? So we're 5 days away from 30-day calendar. So yeah, wow, I really am pretty shocked by that, to be honest with you. So, um, but yeah, so I was just, thinking about all that and trying to think about the people I've met so far in the hunt. I've definitely bonded with a couple of folks. I want to be real clear, and I tell them, and I tell you guys, I'll tell anybody that I talk to on a personal level. There's no added benefit, like meaning like nobody's getting, no one, and I'm trying to hold to this because it's important to me, right? It's important that the hunt is fair to everybody that's involved who wants to be a part of the hunt. That we, keep the transparency right. And so I tell you, if you ask me something in question form, then I'm going to answer you, but I'm also going to try to put it forward to the community if I remember. Now, if I, sleep and forget something, that's my fault, but it's not me trying to not be transparent, right? It's not me not trying to hold or, withhold people information from people. So, yeah, while maybe the benefit is to get to know me, at the same time, no one's getting anything that I'm not making public. So, and one last note, I was supposed to be on Ben's show tonight. He had a couple things come up. I think he might still go live. He told me, but then he's going to kind of do a like a an update or announcement that I'll be on. So I'll be on Ben's show, Mr. Napples, come Tuesday it looks like, and yeah, so hop over there. We're gonna do a live stream over there. So looking forward to that. Man, that guy, he's always been funny to me, like in a good way. So yeah, excited about it. Without further ado, I'll get right to the questions. And again, I appreciate you guys joining along. I appreciate the engagement, and I'll say one last thing too. Like I had a guy email me and something about, hey, 15 years seems like a long time, and why can't you just shorten it to 5 years and this, that, and the other. Well, I don't think it's gonna take 15 years to find the troll. I really don't. Like, I think that if anybody's paying attention, like, we're building the cake here, and you got a lot of the ingredients already. So, um, so I don't think it's going to take 15 years. Let me be real clear about that. But what's more important to me is that it ends. Like I don't want it to be like, okay, well, like even if I die or even if like, something happens, like again, my wife doesn't know where it's at, my kid doesn't know where it's at. This is all set up to, like like Forrest said, you can't have a secret if you can't be a secret if more than one person knows, right? So, you know, but it's designed to, sort of update. Um, and then, there's a metric in place if something happens to me that, those keys still get released. If, I mean, I don't know, like, I, I don't know. I've thought about, like, hey, if I kick the bucket, then maybe I'll change that. I'm giving some thought to that. I hope I don't kick the bucket in 15 years, though. I mean, like, so I've got to give that a little more thought. I've given it a lot of thought already. Um, but I just don't like. I just don't know if the hunt will be as fun. Like, if I'm, dead. I mean, I don't want to die. But if something happens, so yeah, I may change that. Like, if I kick the bucket, then I'll have uh the authority that's holding on to those privately in a sealed envelope to go ahead and just make it public. So someone can still find it. You know. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I think I just decided right here, right now. That's what I'm gonna do. So that way, like I said, yeah, because I really think like the hunt itself, a lot of the hunt is being engaged and being, sort of the curator, if you will. And that's why I want to answer these questions because, not only am I the creator, but trying to be the curator as well. And while I don't have a large, um, library for you to go access, I feel like if you're asking questions, um, then then you'll be able to kind of get more clues or build up on your clues. So that's kind of the curator part of this, right? So um yeah, anyways, let's just jump right into it. So Dirt McGirt asked, you said the side quest for level 2 opens randomly. Is there any way to trigger them by progressing, or is their release just a time throttle? So yeah, it's definitely a time throttle. um, and again, this is designed to be a 15-year hunt. There will be side quests that, like I was said even last week, it'll be longer. Some will be shorter. Some can get figured out in a day. But it is designed to be a 15-year hunt. So just understand that. Will the other side quests be locked until the first side quest of level 2 is complete? No. So again, it's kind of random, but within this time frame, that's supposed to go. It's supposed to be released within the next 90 days for two. So side quest 2.2, basically. Um, Billy said so. You said there's 25 searchers or something similar. I know what you mean, but are you tracking by IP address that you're collected or by other means? No, I have gone into analytics and kind of seen, like who's accessing, or because it gives you like top 10 basically. You could do a more detailed report, but I'm not gonna pay for that. That doesn't matter to me. Um, but unless there was some sort of like DDoS attack, we'd try to figure out exactly where that was coming from. But again, I have some pretty strong um, things in place to kind of stop that. Right, measures is the word I was looking for. The reason why I said 25 is because like I really about how many have really truly engaged with me. So all I can know is that number, right? So that number's increased by a few this last week, but not much more. I do think that people are out there looking. Speaking of side quest, yeah, so that side quest two, the 2.1, is definitely one that I think that you should let any of your filmmaker buddies know. I will tell you that I'm reaching out to film students across the country. Again, like I've said in the chat the other day, what I'm trying to do is, I'm kind of have this hub, and I'm trying to spin it outwards and like kind of like an auger, if you will, as it spins, trying to bring more people into our sphere, talking about the treasure hunt community sphere. And yeah, so that's when I talk about like what I'm passionate about is definitely trying to grow this community and grow the audience for the people that have been around for a long time, who, like I said, carry the water for a long time, and even some of the newer guys like Froggy and Emma and Jam who've come along since TTI. So, and obviously, Ben. I mean, Ben's always just gonna be Ben. He's awesome, actually. Yeah, okay, so this is Billy said so. Have any other searchers in Europe reported issues with the website? It worked great until 2 days ago. That would be Tuesday. Yeah, so I feel like that was kind of what was happening after we are doing a little search, is that some folks in the European Union were mass spamming the site, and it's like, so we're fixing that. So if you're in Europe, we're working on that right now. So I also like the 66 feel to your hunt. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Island Hopper. The guy on the bicycle that passed you. Was he on a 10-speed bike or a mountain bike? Was he dressed in a cyclist tights outfit? Okay, so first the bike type. I know this is something that's being kicked around by people. Um, it was not a It wasn't like I'm just remembering it. It wasn't a traditional. It wasn't like a traditional like 10 speed, if you will. Okay, he didn't look like he had the racing set up, but it wasn't a mountain bike either. I don't, I think it was some sort of hybrid. But he definitely had the helmet on, and the little whatever they wear. I'm not really sure what it's called. Um, so yeah, that answers that. So, and he says, Island Hopper asks, the water near the rock, does it connect to flow to from directly to Pat Mays Lake, or does it connect to Pat Mays via other waterways? The water near the rock, does it connect to, flow to, slash from, directly to Pat Mays Lake, or does it connect to Pat Mays via other waterways? Hmm. Well, I could do a forest thing right here where I say, like, I guess all water is connected, right? Um yeah, I can't really honestly answer that one. Um and I realize that like there's some of these that, I'm gonna get asked that are just gonna be hard to answer. So yeah, so I guess all water's connected, right? um and he also asks, is the rock closer in distance to the center of Pat Mays Lake or to the center of Paris, Texas? Um, hmm. I'd say, I'd say it's, yeah, let me think this. I'd say it's probably closer to Pat Mays Lake. Gary Green. Is it possible to see the Trove's resting place on Google Street View? No. No. Yeah, I mean, no. That's real easy. No. But thanks for the question. Keep asking. Mike Hall. Is the treasure slash rock hidden within 1 mile of a body of water that is named on a standard map? Um, I don't know what standard map is. I mean, I guess maybe like, I don't know what he means by standard map. But yeah, it is definitely within 1 mile of a body of water that has a name. Cool Mall. Is the geode a road crystal or a rose quartz with iron staining or something else? All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna. That's what I was saying yesterday, um, with or last week, sorry, with the other guy who was asking if it was a Dugway geode or not. I'm just gonna tell you it's a geode. Okay, just you can put that one to bed. That's enough. They all are kind of distinct, and I'm already kind of giving you a pretty good description of it. It's got a flat bottom, it's about that big. So, yeah, we can just kind of put those questions. The rest, it's definitely a geode, though. Okay. Jam. Does it snow a lot in the location, or will we be able to search year round? You can absolutely search year round, but it does also snow. Again, because someone has made this public, the screenshot of one of the static Easter eggs, Four Seasons is obviously a clue, right? So where it's at, we have Four Seasons. Okay? M.W. Jenny, which is Mysterious Writing. Miss Jenny from Mysterious Writings. It's hard for me to say, sorry. Can you confirm that the following image is a clue to the main trove since it was a static image? It's the one that the sun in the sky reflecting on the water over a mountain range / trees. Those are trees, and yes, it was a static image. So yes. And then she also asked, in the website level 2 games, are there clues to finding the main hunt's rock or treasure? For instance, is maybe the type of bird jumping the gaps a clue, or is maybe 33 or something else in the games? Okay, so I'm going to tell y'all something. So, my wife and I, we like birds, like obviously we're birds, and my wife, her, this is kind of how cool, the whole bird story is with us. Like my wife was previously married, and she had hyphenated her name. Well, then when we got together and we decided we were going to get married, I was blessed by the fact that she wanted to actually take on that quote unquote ladybird type. And she just really likes it. So I'm really blessed that she didn't hyphenate her name when we got married, which is an indication kind of who we are. We do like nature. We love going and looking for things. That type of bird is really hard to find. So that's kind of why it's on the game. The gaps are is maybe 33. So I would definitely understand there was the reason why the gaps were numbered the way they were numbered is because it matters. Okay? Excuse me. Quarter violin. What level would you say that we need to start taking things back out of our inventory bag? I like that she's paying attention to that. To the inventory bag part of it. I know K Pro had brought it up last night, and Mike. Also to K Pro, sorry, my fault. I totally forgot that you guys had that hunt, and it was pretty interactive from what I remember. So my apologies, ma'am. With regard to Carter Violin here, what level would you say that we need to start taking things out of our inventory bag? Well, if anybody's ever played a real RPG game, a lot of times, you find stuff in the earlier levels that you need in later levels. So that's what I'll say there. Okay. Are the items we collect in our inventory bag for future side quests the main solve or both? Actually, both. Good question. Should I be putting any other music or emojis in my inventory bag? No, so the music is computer generated, so that it's like royalty free. So don't step on anybody's toes like that. Clearly, kind of been involved in that arena, and I definitely don't want to. I would never try to, take anybody's IP or their music. So, but it's just computer generated. But you did ask the emojis. Um, I would definitely say that definitely there are definitely images, uh, you know, meaning the emojis that represent an image that you should be paying attention to. Absolutely. Well, she also continues, what type of tree or trees are the branches bending and weaving on? I can't answer the type of trees. Um, yeah, I just can't. I can't. Like it would just. I mean, that would just be like basically releasing all five keys right there. So sorry about that. It's definitely one I just can't answer. Are there enough clues available now to find the location of the trove? Again, it's Carter Violin. Absolutely. Really the original riddle poem, it definitely was enough. And so like I've explained to somebody, and I've explained to a couple people, we're kind of like building a cake. I mean, you have the ingredients. You just got to start putting it all together. And really from there, all we're doing is we're just making our cake fancier, if you will. You know what I mean? So yeah, you definitely have all the clues you need right now to go find it. But as it progresses, you make your cake fancier, and it'll make it more I don't know, enjoyable maybe. I don't know. Nemo 75. Are boots on the ground required to solve the clues associated with the poem/riddle, or can we find the final location, or can the final location be determined without ever leaving home? Okay, so I had, I'm bouncing around this idea in my mind again. Like I think this is not right now. Okay, so I'm gonna be real clear about this. So I think like if we go a good while and nobody's found it, what I'm going to do is that if somebody is at home, um, and they send me a GPS within a foot, then yeah, I'm still kind of working that out in my mind. Like, I mean, again, this is not right now, so I don't want to be getting a bunch of like, oh, it's here, it's here, it's here, here. No, it's not right now. I'm just, again, I'm trying to mold and been with the community as we go here. So I mean, it's only been a month. Like this, it's not a long time. Okay, it's not a long time. But so I think that's kind of a way to answer your question. Yeah. He also asks, can the filmmaker win both the bird family pick and the audience pick for a total 4,500? Absolutely, absolutely you can. So I told someone this last night, and kind of what will happen as we get submissions. So let's say we only get four submissions. Well, then we'll just release all four to because that's currently what we have submission form wise. I think there's a couple of people who just email me, curious. I don't think they're going to make one, but but there's definitely some very serious inquiries, and I think that there's four of those. So I know that at least we're going to have four. So if there's just four, then we'll watch them, and we're just going to release those to overall to the community. But as we grow in numbers, so let's say we get 10, then we will we'll progressively trim those down. So then we'll take 7, for example, and put them up for the community to vote. Then if there's 20, we'll take like 15. If there's like 30, then we'll as the number of films come in and grow, we'll kind of scale how many that we're actually going to put in that featured category for the actual treasure hunt community to decide on. So we as the family will pick those films to then submit to the featured voting, and then every film will be uploaded and submitted for voting uh, amongst the community, the treasure hunt community, so that this entire time we that first part we have some input, but ultimately really the deciding factor is still the treasure hunt community. Same thing with in the end, like, and so that's how it works. You go out and you recruit people to go vote, you recruit people to go like your film. I mean, this is how we get our hub spinning and bring people into the treasure hunt community, and we as a treasure hunt community then decide which ones that we like. So absolutely they can win both. I don't think that's going to be the result, but they could. Okay. Okay, man, from the exact spot where the geode is at, can you say any islands in the water in front of you? Oh, can you see any islands in the water in front of you? Islands equal small or large areas of land. Okay, cool. um yeah, no. No, no, no. Now, I say no. It might depend on water management. I don't. I'm assuming you're like going to some sort of Google Map view and looking for something on Google Maps, and sometimes that depends on water management. Just FYI. So, because like um, big cities like Dallas and Irving, they buy water, and so you know like the water management part of it, might have something to do with that. I don't know. I'm not sure what you're looking at. So I mean, I didn't see an island when I put it there. Okay. If I'm bending over, he continues, okay, man, continues. If I'm bending over to pick up the geode, would both of my feet be standing on other rocks? Simple yes or no. Yes. Okay, ma'am. I'm already in the area. If like I'm already in the area I need to be. I'm driving along, headed to the row of vans that mark a quiet end. I am now at the row of vans, but I haven't parked yet and haven't turned. What direction is my car facing? Don't say forward. Give me an actual direction, please. Okay, again, I don't know which direction you're coming from. Like, it's we live in a 360-degree world, and I don't know which direction you're coming from. That's You're getting close there. You're like you whittling down your question there, but I still don't know which direction you're coming from. All right, Treasure Gal. If I am flying toward the geode and Paris is in my rear view, what is my heading? All right, that's a good one. That's a good one. I like, dude, man, you guys are like stupid smart. Um, if I am flying, so I believe she's saying she's in a plane, and Paris is in my rear view, what is my heading? All right, so. Okay. If I'm flying towards, okay, so I'm assuming she means she took off from Paris. So Paris has a pretty nice airfield actually called Coxfield. Just FYI. Um, what is my heading? I'd say northwest. I can't give you an exact heading, but I'll give you a generalized direction. Northwest. Dukes of Hazzard. Other than rain, fog, and dew, does the geode ever get wet? Absolutely. One-eyed Swelly. Is the riddle, I think I said that, Swilly, one-eyed Swilly, is the riddle the way it is right now enough information to lead? Yes, so that absolutely. So I just answered that with Carter Violin. Absolutely. Is the riddle the final location? Yes, it is the final location. And again, the riddles will kind of layer on top of themselves. Again, um, designed to kind of build this cake. Guest user 17 was up all night. The intended solve for the original. So hard for me to say that word, guys. Cipher in the Texas challenge, and was it only change to make the solve match the hint? So no, I just answered that in the intro here. Again, I tried to not look at any of these questions until the day of, just so I can have like an honest, natural response and not some sort of made up BS. And I don't like that stuff, man. I don't like. I get really annoyed with this whole like, oh, you're gonna give me a list of answers, or you're gonna give me a list of questions, and then I'm gonna pick and choose which one. No, I mean I'm gonna try to answer them all. If I can't actually answer it because it'd just be so obvious, then yeah, I may do the whole quasi punt thing. But I would, I don't like that. I like being genuine. So, um, yeah, so I explained it in the intro. There, guest user 17. I also ask, do each of the side quests require the previous one to be completed before the next one is unlocked? No. Again, so they are staggered within time. The first side quest is always unlocked within a 30-day time period. We're on basically a randomized 90-day now for 2.2. But it is sort of designed to last 15 years. I will tell you that the site will change, and it'll change a lot. So you just need to be in the game. You need to be in the game. I do know that the Wayback Machine, archive level 1, they weren't supposed to, but they did. So I've been in contact with them. Um, we'll see what actions I need to take. Because I want it to be a game, and I've kind of kicked that around in my mind too. Like, well, I mean, if they did archive it, like, it's kind of cool. Again, I didn't want to put any anti-crawlers in there because there will be people that want to archive the sites themselves, and that's fine. I mean, I encourage it. I encourage people to, to be engaged in the ways they know how to be engaged. You're not allowed to do any backlinks or anything on it, and if you do, you're going to get in trouble, or it'll quickly be down because it'll be disavowed. Google. But no. Do each of the side quests require a previous one to be complete? So no, the answer is no. Out of time. The water that is near the rock. If you, Chad, are standing near the edge of the water, could you throw a baseball across the other side of the water and hit the land on the other side? Nah, I don't even think Bryce Harper could. So, out of time. Man, rest in peace. Man, what a horrible loss, man. Whew, that was a tough one. Man, I don't know. I don't know if anybody watches baseball, but oh man, that was a tough way to go down in the game, man. So, but no, definitely, no, I don't, like I say, I don't even think Bryce Harper could. When you saw the cyclist while going to hide the rock, was the cyclist riding on the road that cars can go on, or on a path bike or a trail? So I would say this. So it's not like it wasn't like a road, as in cars are designed to go down it. But I do know that vehicles go down it sometimes. Billie Jean, 1999. After completing each one of the stages, there are codes and words. For example, 7FD2, Dungeon Crest, etc. Do we need to keep any or all of these? Again, I will express to you the importance of an inventory bag. NYM777. Are the red bars are there red bars close to a treasure? Normally, I think I'm wondering if he's asking, are there's like bars, as in bars out in like in a river, like when I see that, are there red bars close to a treasure? Um, so like for those who don't know, like when a river goes back and forth, up and down the level, it makes like sandbars. Um, I mean, close is a. I mean, it's kind of. I mean, how do you define close? I mean, um, I mean, Earth is close to the sun, but not close enough. I would say there are red bars within 50 miles of it. Okay, Pro. Can you give us one park or location in each search state you would recommend to understand you? Not the location of the chest, but a special type place maybe you fish or you like in each state. Oh yeah, so let me think about that one for a second. All right, so here in New Mexico, and there's a place that you can go hunt some different rock types. It's kind of close to the Mexican border. Um, in Texas, I was just telling this to somebody the other day. The Lake of the Pines. I had some really good memories there with my granddad. He was a fisherman, and my cousins actually became my cousins and my uncle. They were actually semi-pro bass guys for a long time. They were on the circuit, and we would, when they'd win a tournament or whatever, we'd go down to the Tyler, to where they're from. They're in a little suburb of Tyler, called Diana. And yeah, so we when we were there, get the chance to go out on the bass boats and stuff. Again, I was always kind of sickly, so I didn't really get to ever, be active with that with them. But the times that I did get to go, I had a lot of fun, and we always went there. Um, and then let's see here, Oklahoma. Anyway, anyways, yeah, so that's kind of funny. Um, Backup drive, I need to go delete a couple things, so kind of froze there. Um, anyways, so back to it. So K-Pro was asking places like in the different states. So I told you about the rock area I like going in New Mexico, um, Lake of the Pines. In Oklahoma, I really like Lake Eufaula. It's a very pretty area up there. And then Arkansas, to be honest with you, like, kind of hard to narrow down a couple, but I like um, the Crater of the Diamonds, and then also Hot Springs. It's pretty nice place. So, yeah. Um, and then mystery writings. Jenny asked, "Who unlocks the 15 secrets? Players or you? Is there something we as players need to do to unlock them, either now or later?" So they will. Those are kind of gonna be like anniversary unlocks, and they will be they will definitely be very good clues. So, like year one, year two, year three, year four, year five, so forth and so on. So, as I was stated from the beginning of this, this whole game will be layered. Treasure Quest cigarettes, um, was purchased in order to do it. Again, I had another URL originally, but to me, it works out more fun, and I like it. So, it's my hunt, so I can do it. How about that? Cake. Can we have a clue on how to unlock the secret section of the? Okay, so no, yeah, there's no real clue. It is just gonna happen. In this game, she also has in this game for Treasure Con looks beautiful. Anything you can tell us about it? Long story short, with that game, we were chopping it up on Discord, and then India was kind of telling me about how like some people would like to go but can't go because they can't afford it, and this, that, and the other. I thought, all right, well, I'll pitch a couple $1,000s to it. If you guys want to do a hunt, or some way to give it away. And then so we kind of brainstormed right there a little bit, and she said, hey, well, I made hunts in the past. I don't mind making a hunt for this. And I was like, okay, well, cool, let's do it. And gave her a few bones for her efforts, and obviously the winner will get a couple $1,000s. Um, I'll end up probably just escrowing that with Mike and Christy, before the hunt even gets here. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, Indy's definitely done a good job, with the tools she's had available to her to make what she made for us to do, or, better said, for other people who want to go to the con. I do think there was a little bit of confusion, and I want to clear that up just because I know Mike and K Pro kind of brought it up last night. Um, she's just trying to, whenever it was originally like, okay, hey, you just got to have a ticket to the con. The heart of the whole thing was like, we want to make it easy for somebody to go to the con, and or if you are going to Treasure Con, basically, you would get, your money back, ample dollars to, pay for your room, your flight, your ticket to the con. But then, she had kind of talked to me about, hey, there are some people who would still like to play the game and can't even afford to buy a ticket for the con. So we kind of adapted pretty quickly there to give people, that are interested in what's going on, who are following along, to have an opportunity to not only get a ticket to the con, but also, win the prize. But the whole thing is to try to bring awareness to TreasureCon. There are a lot of other people who are doing things like this too. I mean, there are dozens of people already. I think that Mike and Christy have gotten things from. This is just my way to give to it. And I think as a treasure hunt community, we should be really proud that there are people who are willing to give to others. I think it's super awesome, and I couldn't be more pumped to see what those gift bags are going to have in them. And yeah, this is just my way to try to give back, and completely separate from the quest. And I yeah, so definitely cool what she's done. Definitely way cool, and I would suggest anybody and everybody go play it. She's really into like etymology. She's really into like I don't really know all the things like what it's called because I've never really been into that kind of stuff. But she is, and she designed her hunt around that, and that was totally up to her. Gave her I just funded it and just gave her full ride permission to do whatever she wanted to do. As long as it was like quote unquote kind of family friendly. I don't ever want to promote something that that would go against like my values. You know what I mean? But I think what she's done is awesome, and it looks cool. Yeah, and I can't say thank you enough, Indy. Really, seriously, I appreciate you stepping up to the plate. And I think we as a treasure hunt community, that's the whole point of this for me is to grow and to kind of have more engagement than what we've had in the past, you know. And so, like I said, so I don't want to, you know, we're not static, you know. So I don't like ever being a part of static situations, um, just because, like, I don't know, it's boring to me, you know. So that's not a game. It's not fun. I mean, there's no new, you know, like, there's nothing new to like. I mean, okay, I can go read the same freaking book 15 times. Okay, sure, whatever. Um, but yeah, awesome job, Indy. And there was definitely one more over here that I saw that had popped up this morning. Again, we're trying to answer these questions um, in the week that they're asked. Some cake aggregates those on Thursday and shoots them over to me Friday morning so I can get them done prior to doing my work. Um, Johnny Law did ask this morning, is the movie Side Quest really Side Quest 1? And if so, why is it not unlocked on Trezor.quest? It is, Johnny. You just need to go down to the footer. That's what I said last week, was that, you know, those side quests won't be Easter eggs this level. They're just going to unlock on the footer. So if you'll go to Trezor.quest, go to the footer, you'll see that Side Quest 1 is unlocked. Also, if you go from your phone, it should pop up Side Quest 2.1, and it'll take you to a mobile friendly site. So, so that's that answer. And then Ronald Oak asked, if you had a theoretical drill bit that was long enough and drilled under the rock, would it hit the water under the rock? And if yes, is this water safe to drink, or could it make you sick if you drink? We see gnarled oak. The problem with that question is that everything has water underneath it, right? Everything has water underneath it in the water table. So long enough, I mean, I drilled wells out in the front yard, you know what I'm saying? And got to water in you know, just a couple of feet. So kind of the problem. And that water is drinkable. Um, and he asked, do the row of ends mentioned in the poem change? Do the row of ends mentioned in the poem change in the span of a week, or do they remain the same? I would say they constantly change. And then I think there was one more over here. And just want to make sure I'm getting all these. Um, Obsessed Jared said something about making 30 or 60-minute movies is going to be tough. I mean, I get it. If you're not, you know, into filmmaking and you know you don't have that passion, you know, yeah, sure. But for people that have passion and are into that type thing, which again, you know, this whole thing isn't just focused on one art type of person. I mean, this is all about bringing different people into the sphere of the game and bringing awareness to you know, the treasure hunt community, because I mean there's probably millions of people out there who would genuinely appreciate, you know, some of the discords and the other content creators that are out there. They just don't know they exist. Doing stuff like this actually brings people in, and yeah, so I mean it might be hard for you, Jared, but it's not hard for a lot of people that are into that type of thing. So and then there was another one. I just want to make sure. Just double checking here, guys. Just double checking. All right, cool. So I think that's it. Check mystery writings. Questions for Jen. Who unlocks the? Okay, Will. Okay, that the water in the road. Okay. So there was one question here. So Mystery Jenny had asked, did the side quests and Easter eggs help solve the riddle or help discover the location of the hidden treasure? So that's kind of a repeat of another one of those questions. But yeah, so the static images that show up in the Easter eggs are definitely clues. So I think that answers this week's. Again, I appreciate all you guys. And if I was a little, if I obfuscated my answers a little bit, um, that might be more of a clue than what you realize. But definitely, I like how people are getting better at asking questions. I will tell you that, a lot of people will ask questions about the riddle, and they're not necessarily understanding the mind that would even do what I've done. So, you might consider that as well. And yeah, so I guess until next week, I'll see you guys, and I hope you have a great week. And, obviously, I'll be in and out on the Discord. KPro and Mike have one set up over there, that I've given them permission to record if I ever pop in on there, just so that people, again, it can be a fair game. Realize that sometimes some folks in there are not necessarily PG, and there's sometimes some crash jokes kicked around. Don't take that as offensive. There are all different types of folks who are in the community, and we just, I mean, it's like having a brother and sister. We're not, like we can't all be the same. And sometimes we don't necessarily all agree. But at the same time, I do think that overall the treasure hunt community is filled with a lot of great people, and there are definitely some funny things that got told to me this week that people do with regard to like you know non PG-13 type messages, which are like kind of wild to me. It's very wild to me that people would do that. Um, yeah, very wild. But in the end, I'm having fun. I hope you guys are having fun too. I look forward to next week. I look forward to this week. And you know what? Good luck.